And 3, 2, 1. Okay, guys.
It's live.
Go live. Yeah, it's live. Yeah, go live.
So yeah, 2 more minutes. 7 people already in the waiting room. Maybe I'll start by introducing you first later, and then you can take over after that.
Sure.
Okay.
I admit all the audience, guys.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Sure.
Okay. Good luck, guys.
Halo guys. Hello.
Hello.
Apa kabar guys? Sudah makan?
Lagi makan.
Oh bagus. Jangan keselak ya. Wah, yang lain gimana nih? Gak ada suaranya. Halo Nizam. Diam aja, biasa berisik. Oke. Berapa orang ini? 1, 2. Oh, ada Pierre. Wow. Halo Kak Pierre.
Hello.
Wow, didn't expect you. So Hazri, this is Pierre, one of the CRM instructors for this week.
Hey Hazri, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
I'm looking forward to learn from
I
you.
attended one of your class previously.
Oh, really?
Just for a short while because Razi sent me a link.
You were probably the wrong class because I uses Indonesian to teach.
I understand Indonesia.
So oh, really? Okay.
It should be fine. Yeah.
Should be fine. I mean, yeah. Cool, but I'm here to learn from you as well. So looking forward to the session.
No worries. Yeah.
Well, Pierre, feel free to ask questions, ya, Pierre, nanti.
Definitely.
Okay, it's 7. Putri. Should we start, Putri? Where is Putri? Yeah. Okay, I think we should start. Okay, welcome guys to the 21st expert sharing session. We're going to talk about improving customer engagement with CRM. So our instructor tonight will be Hazri. He is an experienced CRM and analytics guy. So he knows a lot about CRM, both in business side and also in marketing side. So Hazri, feel free to take the floor.
Sure. Hello, apa kabar? Well, I'm Malaysian. I understand a little bit of Indonesian. Well, we'll see how things goes. If you want me to explain in Bahasa Malaysia, then I can also explain in Bahasa Malaysia. But mainly the session is going to be in English. So tonight's topic is basically improving customer engagement with CRM. Just a quick fact about me. So I'm a CRM and analytic consultant. And in my previous job, I was a regional resource supporting Asia region. So I have to travel a lot. And I've traveled to 5 Asian countries as well as 2 Scandinavia countries. I've also understand that from Ben that some of you are thinking about switching career or switching your expertise. Well, rest assured, I was actually an IT solution architect turned marketeers. Well, I fell in love with the commercial side of businesses in 2011, and I decided to change from a IT professional to a marketeer. I mainly, my major expertise or experiences are actually in telecommunication as well as consumer services industries. Right. Okay. So tonight, tonight's presentation will be outlined as such, right? So the first thing we're going to talk about the importance of customer engagement, and then we'll go into CRM as a backbone of customer engagement. Sorry, I accidentally touched something. So improving customer engagement with CRM. I'll share some, one success story that we have that I've done, and then some tips of do's and don'ts. And finally, I think we can have a Q&A. But nevertheless, if you have any question along the line, feel free to type it in Slido, and then I guess Ben and Putri will actually try to facilitate that as well. All right. Okay. Firstly, before we start, I would like to start with a quote from a famous person. So the person says, "Get closer than ever to your customer, so close that you tell them what they need well before they realize it themselves." Anyone knows who's this quote from? I think most of you guys are actually on mute. But
yeah. Raise your hand if you know. Yeah. Raise hand aja guys kalau pengen tebak.
Okay. All right. So this quotes come from Steve Jobs, right? One of the successful brand nowadays, which is Apple. Right, so it shows how important customer to us as a business, because they very much contribute to our success. All right, so why is customer engagement important? And what is customer engagement? So customer engagement is not only a need, it is the emotional connection between you, the brand, as well as the customer, which directly impact the brand success or the business success. Yeah. So according to research, right, we have 23% of, the engaged customer contribute to 23% more revenue than an average user. And this is very, very true, because in my previous company, we've seen it as high as 40% of revenue are indeed contributed by only 20% of engaged or active customer. Right, so this is how important an engaged customer is, or active customer is, because they are the quality customer, and they are the one that contribute to your revenue. All right, and now keeping engagement is not an easy task, right? With very demanding and demanding modern customer nowadays, and as the saying goes, customer is king, right? And they no longer rely heavily on sales pitches. They research and ask friends and families, right? So the modern customer demand personal touch. They want you to know them. They expect you to understand what they want, right? And if you don't, they're simply going to switch over. And if you do things right, or if you engage your customer right, they will end up as your loyal customer and can potentially be your advocates as well as brand ambassador. Like how nowadays, when you want to buy something, you do your research, you look at reviews, you ask your friends and families. That's how important customer is, right? Okay. I'm going to move on to the second part of it. Right, so that's a technical issue here. Anyway, so CRM, the backbone of customer engagement. Okay, what is CRM, right? The CRM is not just a technology. It's not just one person came to me and asked, Hazri, is CRM email marketing? Well, the answer is not quite. So CRM is much broader. It's a combination of practices, strategies, and technologies that to manage the relationship between the business, you, as well as a customer. And a good CRM setup provides business with holistic customer insight and enablement throughout sales, marketing, customer experience. This is where CX comes into the picture. Some of you might heard of CX, and customer services, or CS. Yeah. So if you have any question, you can let me know. Okay, and then I'm just going to go a little bit more detail about this. So in sales, CRM for sales, for example, Salesforce is a very good tool for for the sales department to keep track of leads management, the customer accounts, as well as sales activity and sales spending. So we mostly, as a marketer, you don't really look at sales part of it. You will be basically looking into the marketing part of it, or CRM marketing. So in CRM marketing, what the marketing tool has is actually, you know, it's centralize and execute contextual campaign. It gives you consistency across all channels. So omni-channel is basically integration to all channel that you have, be it online and offline, and maintain consistency. It means that if I offer Ben something online, and if he walk into a store, I wouldn't know, or the customer representative in the store will be able to know that Ben already received what they call an offer and continue the journey from there. And of course, there's also, you know, part where you do optimization of insight. Whatever you've learned from the customer, whatever you've learned from the campaign that you run, you use that insight to optimize your campaign. Experience, you know, like in this case, one of example is Qualtrics. So customer experience, I've seen more and more company delving into, you know, embarking into creating a very good customer experience. And they do that using a tool such as Qualtrics. Of course, doing so by mapping the journey of the customer. Actually, just one slide here. Let me just jump to that slide to show you how it looks like. So this is an example of a customer journey map. It maps the stages you are in. It maps the steps that require the customer interaction, the touch point, which is the channel, and also the department, right? I'm going to give this as a handout later. I mean, after the session, so it has all the link here that you might want to have it as a reference for your future use. Okay, all right. And finally, the customer service. So for CRM for customer service, it gives you visibility for exceptional customer support, right? Like I said, so if there's an offer being made for you using a marketing channel, a customer service would be able to pick up your queries and why don't you get this, or why didn't you get that, as per the communication. Yeah. So now, how do we improve? Now that we've learned about, you know, like the importance of customer engagement, the CRM, as well as the areas that the CRM touch. Now let's see, how do we improve the customer engagement with CRM? So when you run a CRM or a CRM program or campaign, so these are the few areas. This is one perspective of few areas that we look into when you want to run a campaign, right? So the data and insights, the design and execution, the communication, the delivery, and finally, but not least, support, right? Data basically will help you to understand who your customer are, what are their interests, what are their likes, what would be the best fit, what would be the best proposition for them, right? And these are mainly run by the analytic teams or a data science team. And they should be your best friend, right? These people, they should be your best friend because you will be able to tell them, they will be able to help you solve business problem, and they can also tell you opportunities, right? The design and execution part, this is where the marketeers play a very, very important role because you are the driver, right? This is where you ideate what kind of campaign or what kind of program that you want to run. What are your goals? What are the budget strategies? Is it going to be an experiment or is it going to be a full-blown campaign? Who are the target segment, proposition, pricing, content, touch point, and such? Yeah. And then communication. So you mainly or typically the marketeers have less involvement in communication because when you set up the tool, the tool will be able to cater for the communication handling. But why I put it here, it's very good for marketeers to really understand the communication part of it, whether it is intrusive or not intrusive. So intrusive example, or like SMS, because you do not initiate it. The business initiated based on the business thinking of, okay, it is the best time to send you an SMS. Sometimes you receive SMS at 2 a.m. in the morning that wakes you up. So that is considered as intrusive, right? Whether you surf the internet and you see a banner, is it considered as intrusive or less intrusive? And that is very much less intrusive, because you're just surfing the internet. It's just kind of like a by the way kind of thing. These are the things that if you are interested, you click on it, right? And then it is also very important for you to understand the customer preference of communication. So whether the customer, like says that, no, I don't even want to receive any marketing communication, or they're okay with one or two communication. The third part, which is contact policy and regulatories. This is super, super important for countries that has, like a PDPA or, a Privacy Act. In Malaysia, we have PDPA, which is data protection. And then in Singapore, we have it as well. And in the Europe, we call it GDPR. All right. And you should abide to the rule. Some countries are very strict, like only 3 communication in a month. Cool-off period is also very, very important to understand, as when you send a communication to a customer, you need to give them a little bit of a cool-off period, so that you do not, over communicate and, make your customer become campaign or marketing fatigue, communication fatigue. Yeah. And all this need to be governed and enforced. So somebody in the organization who manage the communication channel will most probably become the governance as well as the enforcement body too. All right. The delivery part. So delivery is simply putting your promise in the hand of a customer. If you say you do something and you get a free X product, you should be able to deliver the product as well. Or when you purchase, you should be able to fulfill the whatever the customer purchase as well, right? Be it online or physical. And finally, the support. It's just a matter of customer service are aware of everything that is going on. Why are you eligible? Why are you getting this offer? Right? And after looking at these areas, so what are the factors for effective CRM program? So it has to be rightly targeted or segmented, right? If you're a onboarding, you guys learned about the life cycle of the customer, whether they are the early stage, the middle stage, or the mature stage, or the decline stage, which is near to churn. So you need to know who are the target segment. So your program or your campaign need to target the correct segment. It need to have a right proposition. What kind of product and offering do you want to propose to the customer? The content need to be relevant. Is it like an awareness campaign, or is it like a conversion campaign, or is it like a newsletter digest, right? So for each of the type of content, they need to be be fitted to the correct strategies. For example, a newsletter which has a very lengthy information might not be optimized for conversion, right? It's just to get people to be engaged. But a conversion content need to be concise. It need to be less clutter. It means that, so let's say you send an email, right? I'm pretty sure that you've seen emails sent by the e-coms. Sometimes it's just so long that you have to scroll it like 2 or 3 times just to reach the end of the email. So is it is it an effective way of doing it? Most probably not. But if you really want to convert, try to declutter the communication or the content so that it only has like 1, maximum 2 CTAs. Yeah. And then also consider the channel, because I've spoken about the channel earlier, which is the communication preference. It will also determines which channel is more effective to what user, right? So when you run a campaign, it doesn't mean that you have to run it on email alone. It can be on email. It can be a combination of email, SMS, or even flyers, or even like a physical flyers, based on the target segment. and based on their most receptive channel or touch point. Some people really like to call customer service and ask, hey, do you have any promotions? I've seen that before because I've sat next to a customer service agent previously, and one person call, make a complaint, and suddenly ask, hey, do you have an offer? And unfortunately, because of disconnect system, the customer service unable to see what are the available offer for the customer. And finally, timing, right? So timing, like I said, if you don't want to receive an SMS at 2 a.m. in the morning, but if you are the kind of person who actually work at night shift, then most probably 2 a.m. in the morning is your active time. Yeah. So look into the timing. So what kind of people who are actually engaged in the morning, in the afternoon, evening, as well as nighttime, depending again on your segment. So once you combine all this, you will be able to come up with a good program and campaign. And the key ingredient here is optimize. So how do we optimize this? Once you've seen all this factor and all this area, how do you optimize? So you optimize it using feedback loop, right? So what I mean by feedback loop is the outcome or the interaction outcome by the business as well, between the business as well as the customer. For example, when you run a campaign, of course, you need to be able to post back this campaign result, success and failure. Why do we have to do this? Is because sometime in the future, you might want to run another campaign. So let's say we have a festive campaign, which is like Hari Raya, right? So you run a festive campaign this year. Next year there will be another Hari Raya as well. So you need to be able to learn what are the success and failure of the similar campaign. Same goes like Christmas. These are the kind of iterative kind of thing. Also, when you want to do like a churn campaign or win back campaign for people who already wanted to exit the relationship, then you should be able to know, okay, what are the campaign results? Is it the right proposition? Is the pricing correct? Is the content suitable for the set of audience, right? And this should go back to your analytic. Communication. So one of the key factors is communication. Are you more receptive to email? Are you more receptive to social media? Are you more receptive to going physically, face to face, to brick and mortar company, shop, right? And then you also need to know the spending, especially when it comes to channel, when the paid channel. So there's always a cost. And in my experience, I also see that people think that our own channel, so let's take, for example, email channel, they think that it's free. They think that there's no cost. So they just blast like millions of email without considering there's a cost behind it, right? So there's no, business ROI, basically. So take this consideration, pass it back, and then you will see who react to which channel. Delivery, like delays, cancellation, satisfaction survey. This also, give you a slider of a view of what the customer are feeling. Yeah, like food delivery nowadays. Sometimes the delivery partner just cancel it because they go to the store is not open. So that's if you really want to have a very good customer engagement or customer experience, you need to consider all this. Same goes to support. If there's a complaint, cancellation, return, survey level in terms of net promoter score and preferences as well. So remember, I talked about do not disturb earlier. So if you say that no, I don't want to receive a marketing communication, then this is handled by the do not disturb instruction. Yeah. Any questions so far?
There's a few questions on Slido. So first of all, when it comes to the UX, when is the best time and appropriate to survey their satisfaction on every touch point?
Okay. There are. Okay, I can hear myself back.
Or
Okay. There are. I've seen people who overly doing it. So for every order, there's a survey. For every interaction, sometimes there's a survey as well. Okay, when would be the best time? So first, you can start with during the registration, right? So let's say if a customer registered for your service, in the registration form, there are a little bit of section where you do a short survey in terms of your preferences, in terms of your interest, in terms of your active time. If you notice, some of the form has, what do you like? Do you like movie? Do you like food? Do you like travel and such? So and a lot of the time, uh, well, the agent or the person who actually like handle your registration just ignore that. And to be honest, that one is super important. Yeah, when you skip that, then basically you need to be able to catch the customer attention to fill out the survey. And to be honest, getting their time is not that easy. However, what you can do is a very short survey. It means like two to three questions at one go, and you can build up. This is something like what we call syndicating. So basically, you give them a short portion of survey. Once they do that, the next most probably two or three communication, you give them another set of questions that help you understand who they are, right? Uh, there is no fixed answer of when will be the best. It's very much depending on the nature of the business. Also depending on the customer journey process. Yeah. So if it's like a lot of touch point, a very long form, then most probably, highly likely, the customer would actually abandon it.
Okay. Um, there's another question. Um, how to choose the most important CRM tools to use when starting a business, and
Okay.
what functions are most needed at the start?
All right. Hopefully you're a business, the business owner. Because most of the time when you work with a company, it's already chosen for you, right? You have no choice, but you have to use it. However, if you're, like if you're starting out your own business, or if you want to choose, if you're a decision maker of choosing the tool, what you can do, I think one important thing to look at is basically your cost. There are the one that I highlighted or the one that I shared are very costly because they are tier one solution. There are, like smaller players, and some of them will even customize it for you. So just to give you a perspective, so I've worked with a first tier, and I've worked with a non-tier, meaning a startup, right? The first tier charge you roughly about 14 million US dollar. Yeah, for a good one. Yeah, it's really high. So it's plus, it's not only the software, but then again the implementation, because there's a lot of integration. And the smallest one charged you a 500,000 one time. So it's a 500,000 dollar. However, it's just one time off, and it's kind of like all you can eat buffet. There are even smaller players that even charge you as a service, which charge you by monthly or even by quarterly as well as yearly. Uh, I'm happy to answer this offline as well, so I can actually share with you, options that you can go with.
Wow, thanks. So siapapun yang nanya tuh mungkin bisa kontak Hazri ya to consult about the tools.
Yeah.
Because it's anonymous sayangnya. Okay.
Yeah.
Should we continue with the deck?
Sure. All right. So the next one. So well, this is one of a success story that me and my team, we've implemented this back in Malaysia in quite early days when the contextual marketing is very, very new. right? So how Self-Pharma telecommunication successfully engage a customer? So we call it loyalty 2.0. And the way we do loyalty 2.0 is we gamify the loyalty. So we create the program. You might hear me saying program and campaign. So the difference between program and campaign is program is a set of campaign. It's interrelated. It's one by one. So it can be a multi-wave campaign. A campaign can stand on its own, right? So this is actually a program. So we created like quite a number of highly engaging content, as well as like a application for that. So let me just share a YouTube. So hopefully you can.
I love every day with XPEX. Everything is great, easy. I love every day with XPEX. Everything is great, easy, and always what I want. Then they invited me into X Club, where they recognize me for staying and reward me with what I like. I don't have to do anything special. They just reward me for using XPEX like I always have. I get showered with rewards the more calls I make, texts I send, pictures I share, and the internet I use. The longer I stay connected with family and friends, the more rewards I earn, and the higher the level I reach. On the X Club site, I get to see how far away I am from my next reward and check and manage all my achieved rewards. The more I explore X Club, the more rewards I find. It's that simple. So, welcome to X Club. Once you're in, you'll never want out.
Okay, so that is the X Pack or X Club stories. So we did this back in 2012. In fact, we get a award for this, a global award for this best brand and loyalty. Yeah, and when we gamified the loyalty, if you can see, if you remember, and one of the screen, the person was showing, your progress, right? So your progress, how far are you from the next level? So that's how we keep people engaged, and that's how we actually ask them to do more. So on top of that, of like just using or just doing what you do and get rewarded, we also have this like a 5 days challenge, where we send them a challenge that they need to complete in 5 days. So when you do something, so if you complete 3 challenge, you get something. And if you complete all 5 challenge, then you are in the winning streak of getting a very exclusive. Well, during that time, it was an iPhone. I think it was iPhone 5 or 6. I can't remember. I can't really remember, but you become like in the winning chance. Not only that, for each of the challenge that you complete, you also get rewards. So we give them a lot of rewards. So there's a lot of background story. There's a lot of back end happening. Yeah. So when we want to offer something, we always make sure that the customer that we offer to is profitable to us. We don't simply give the reward to just anybody, right? So the profitability was taken into consideration. The invite was also taken into consideration. So it doesn't mean that everybody can actually join the X Club. Well, to a certain extent they can, but during the early days, only invited members can join X Club. And from there, we actually learn from, okay, what are the rewards? Sometimes we give them like free data, but most of them already have unlimited data, or like a very high data, and they don't really use it. So we always get this feedback from customer: why do you give me something which is not relevant to me? So we always listen. So when we listen, we optimize. So remember the word optimize there. So we always optimize. What are the proposition? Again, who are the people we target? And then like the communication that we send. It is a very much an endless loop of optimization, and because of that, the outcome is we stimulate usage up to 10 times. Right. So this is like super good achievement. And this is the highest achievements that we get with XPEC. And one of the main goal of X Club was to reduce churn significantly. So X Club is really a prepaid card, right? And we see a lot of people who use X Club and they use it the prepaid card for a certain period of time, and then they just throw it away. And that increases churn, and that's one of the one of the motivation of why we create X Club. So based on your segment, we also have a small campaign that target on how to make you a loyal customer. Sorry. Yep. So that is one of the success story of Cellcom. Back in Grab, we also use challenges. So if you're a Grab user, then most probably you've seen Grab challenges before, like Fly to Tokyo, or Mulan, or even the Zodiac Challenge. I'm not so sure whether the Zodiac Challenge was in Indonesia. The Zodiac Challenge was actually for Chinese New Year. You have to do something, and you will collect what you call a Zodiac coin. Once you receive the 12 Zodiac coins, then you win an exclusive gift, which is like very, very hard to get. In Vietnam, they offer diamonds. In Singapore, they offer cruise. In Thailand, they offer gold coins. So these are the kind of strategies that you can use to keep your customer engaged with you in your business, and reduce churn. Okay.
Okay, so Hazri, there's a question about gamification. So in terms of gamification, how do you measure the total experience point from one level to another level?
Okay. So the analytic need to be a restaurant. Yeah. So we work a lot with analytics. So the thing that we consider are actually the customer age, or what we call it age on network. In this case, because it's telecommunication, so they call it age on network. It means how long have you stayed with Telkom. And then we look into lifetime value, LTV. So you need to know how much does this customer, how much has this customer spent with you, and then their spending behavior, and then profitability. So based on that, they calculated. So that's actually about 100 level. It's really 100 level. So there's a complex calculation behind it. But like I said, the analytic people will be able to determine this. And to be honest, when we run this, right, we actually run it in pilot. So we've run it in pilot for about 6 months. In 6 months, we've invited 100,000 people. And in 6 months, we monitored this 100,000 people usage for us to come up with a formula, or to come up with, sort of a recipe of, okay, this would be the tiering, and what would be the points. We don't show the actual point that the customer received, but we show percentage. How far are you from the next year? And the challenges, like I said, the 5 days challenges sometimes help you push you to the next year. Yeah. And when you open up a tier, then basically there's a unlock and hidden treasure that can entice you to hit the tiers.
All right, so Hazri, I have a question. This is coming from me. So, what if I see this type of campaign or gamification program? So, what are the chances of me winning that campaign? So, 1 out of a million, or how much is it?
Well, we have to be honest, right? A company will always try to make money. So in this case, we have about 50 iPhone. We do advertise it at 50 iPhones. So basically, there's 50 users, 50 winners, and it was open up to about 2 million customers. So 50, 2 million. You can do the calculation, right? So yeah, so yeah, we do give it out. Just that, like I said, that one is just like the grand prize.
Okay.
Doesn't mean that we don't have any other prize. So as a video show, right, you just do whatever you do as you would normally do, and you'll be rewarded. But the learning from this campaign, we always get the complaints. So we receive complaints quite often. Like I said, when we give a prize or a reward or freebies which is not relevant to some of the customer. For example, like I said, most of our customer has like a lot of data. During old days, we don't have unlimited data, but we do have a lot of data. So like 15 GBs or 10 GBs of data. And when we give it to them, we also put a validity to that data. So it's like 7 days. You need to finish it in 7 days. But to be honest, most of these people never even reach the maximum. So it's kind of like, yeah, you give me and I like ikhlas atau tak ikhlas. So it's kind of like you give, but you don't really give because you know that they're not going to use it.
Okay. All right then. So there's one question coming. So to create a relevant rewards, what type of questions do you ask? So do you ask something like, do you love hidden treasures, or do
Yeah.
you want free data or reward, or
Yeah.
what are the questions that you use?
If you remember, I mentioned that we first invite about like 100,000 people to join the pilot, yeah, and these people know that they are actually part of the pilot. Of course, we give them additional incentive to be part of the pilot, and because of that, they are very open for surveys. When we do survey, yeah, we do ask what kind of freebies do you like, your lifestyle, what do you call, how much do you usually spend, what would entice you to do more. So, and then let's say if you want to stretch you, how far can we stretch you? Do we stretch you by 10%, or do we stretch you by 15 or 20%? We did an experiment. At first, we were very ambitious. We actually tried to stretch them by 20%. For example, just take for example the 5 days challenge. So we look at their last month total transaction. So let's say if I make a 50-minute call, I want to stretch them by 20% of 50 minutes, right? So whether that is actually realistic or not realistic, it is something that we experiment for about 6 months, and there's a lot of iteration of experimentation. It's not only one experimentation, and finally we come up to most probably a 15% stretch, which is achievable. And when we go with 20%, a lot of people just cannot achieve it because they just don't really do a lot of calls. Yeah. Experimentation, super important, rather than just blast everything in a wall at the first go. I've seen even experienced marketeers, this is one of I would say a novice mistake. Yeah, so even the first iteration, they already like very confident. They're going to get they're going to achieve the goal, but in actual fact it also dilutes the market. So let's say for example you have 1 million customer and you have a few campaigns that you want to run. So if one campaign said I want to target 500,000 customer, right? So it's like half of it, and then it left the other campaign of 500, right? And then this 500 will be split more to more campaign. So you don't usually have two concurrent campaign running on the same person. Usually don't, but of course nowadays we've seen it very often because you just want to have competition. So when you don't do your due diligence in terms of really segmenting your target audience, you're basically eating out the potential of that person to be targeted in another campaign. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So there's a follow-up question from Irfan. So when you're talking about the pilot project, you invite some, maybe 100 people, right? Let's
10,000.
say, yeah,
Yeah,
100.
I don't
Okay.
know.
All right then. So do you have among those participants, do you have any control participant?
Okay. No, we don't. So these participants are considered as control of pilot program. So what happened with them is they are isolated. They do not receive any other communication from any other part of the marketing team. Why? It's because contamination. Once you have this pilot people also receiving a normal communication, then you will not know what actually happened. So let's say, for example, right? So in this pilot thing, we say that you need to do X number of call, and then for whatever reason, another campaign manager outside of this project send another stimulus campaign, says, hey, you know what, if you do next number of call, we're going to give you something, right? So it is in a way we sort of quarantine these people. So when you do an experiment, these people need to be quarantined, right? Why? Because we don't want to have external factor affecting these people. So in analytic term, we call it sampling. Yeah. So like Celcom has like a huge number of customer, like I think it's about 10 million during that time. So basically, we just take like a percentage of it to do a pilot. But normally, if you're talking about normal campaign, we do have control group. So we have two types of control group. One is global control group. The other one is campaign control group, right? So the global control group basically are this selected customer who do not receive anything. So this is what we call them a natural taker. It means that they do not receive any stimulus, they do not receive any campaign, but they just do. Right, so this the global control group is used to look at the effectiveness of the campaign, whether the stimulus actually really push the take up of the campaign, or the stimulus is just a coincidence, right? And the other control group that we have is campaign control group, or in some cases we call it A/B testing, right? So A receive communication A, B receive communication B. So which one is better?
All right then. Insightful explanation, says Irfan. So yeah, Hazri, feel free to continue.
All right. So if you don't have any more questions, so really this is like almost at the end of the presentation. So these are some tips from me. So do's and don'ts. Of course, this is non-exhaustive. Yeah, but basically it's quite important, right? The do's. So treat customer as a person, not as a number, right? So they are a person, you need to treat them as a person. So I'm not 019 something, so just a phone number. You need to exercise empathy. All right, so put yourself in their shoes. Just look at your inbox, your email inbox. Do you see how many marketing emails you receive a day? So there's a lot of email marketing, right? It's totally different from like the last decades or a long time ago, where like people still go out and buy things. But nowadays, they just go online. And when they go online, the disadvantage of going online is last time, let's say, if you sell a phone, so you just compete with the phone next to you or in the shop. But nowadays, you sell phone, but you compete with fast food. You compete with Nike, you compete with Adidas, you compete with Apple. So you compete with a lot of people or a lot of brands that wanted attention of the same person. So my daily ritual is open up my inbox, go to promo, and I just swipe to delete. Right? I did not even open. All right. And for you guys who does email marketing, there are important things that you need to know. The from, which need to be need to be valid, as well as what do you call trusted. The title, it need to be short and concise, as well as the pre-header. Most of the time, the pre-header was not given a lot of attention in email marketing, which is something that you should not take for granted. You should consider that, because that is a real estate. When people look at email, they look at the title, and they read the header. And from, touching about from, for example, a company usually use one from, which is also something that you might want to consider. So let's take Cellcom for example. When they send, they don't send using Cellcom. They don't just say Cellcom update, Cellcom reward, Cellcom something, right? So basically use that. It's very, very important, because people will actually filter using that. And when you do a spam filter or from filter, this will basically sort of save you as well, right? Okay, just to share with you one of a situation that we need to do management control, and this is back in Singapore. We actually stopped a subscription. So it's actually a food subscription. When you purchase a subscription, I think it's about $9, and it gives you X number of free delivery. Because of that very low value of that subscription, right? The company decided to stop the subscription. So on one day, we sent out a notification, important, urgent. So instead of saying important notice, it just says the company name, right? It just says the company name without anything. And because you spam the customer so much, when people sees your company name, they just don't care or don't read your email, which turns out to be a disaster, right? So the communication clearly says that the subscription will no longer be available after a certain period of time, and after a month we receive a lot of complaints saying that, hey, you did not tell me. And to be honest, it's already inside their inbox. It's just that they did not read. And why? Is because you are bombarded with daily communication, which is irrelevant to you. Right? So it's a mix of urgent notice as well as promo. So always use a tip. Always use your title creatively. From, title, and pre-header creatively. Keep it short. Keep it concise. Try to pick their interests. Yeah. And a lot of the time, I also see in email marketing when people talk about personalization. So people say hi name, like hi Ben. Okay, hi Ben is a personalization, but then again, we do take advantage of it. So most of the modern tool allow you to do more than just hi name. So you can even personalize, or you can even mention what your interests are. So let's say if you're a traveler, then basically do a traveler kind of theme title, right? If you're not a traveler, then you do a most probably family man, then most probably you do a family man title. You are able to do that in the modern tools. Yeah. So personalization is not just name. It can be a lot of stuff. You just need to create a value for it. Yeah. Exercise empathy. Like I said, if you don't like receiving spam, your customer do not like receiving spam. Right? Okay, and program. It should be holistic and continuous, right? It should not be like a one-off. Most of the time, I see things are created in silo. So if you look at the don'ts, I also say that execute campaign in silo. It means that I have a campaign, Putri have a campaign, Ben has a campaign, but then we do not talk to each other. For whatever reason, somehow we have a contradicting message just because we don't talk to each other. So do not do that. So always, look into okay, if you want to touch the same person, okay, what are you saying? What am I saying? So we have to make sure that it's actually connected, relevant, and continuous, right? I've touched a lot about pilot and experimentation before scaling up. Sampling is a key here. Sample, make sure that it's actually big enough. So if you have 1 million, then most probably you want to have like 100,000. If you have 100,000, most probably you want to have an amount that you can get a good feedback. So it doesn't really have to be 10%. It need to be a sizable sample. Yeah. Okay. And then, like I said, my analytic team are my best friend. I am more close to them than my own team because I need their help, right? I cannot do everything on my own. So they would tell you gems, meaning opportunity that they see. You can also ask them to solve a problem together with you. So if you have, if you have a campaign that wanted to look at a certain lifestyle. So again, example. So we have, we want to know your credit score or your wallet size. So some of the company already have your spending and your wallet size, or some company even look at your, your credit card, or what we call card on file. So if your credit card number, you know that your credit card number actually tells a lot about you. You will know whether the card is platinum or gold or from who, from which bank. So if you don't know, then this is a tip. You can again message me, and I'll let you know how do you know what card a person have, and that will give you what they call an inference to how much money they have, because like a platinum and a gold has a different card limit. Yeah. And the other thing, the other campaign that we look, the other data that we look in one of our campaign is your surfing behavior. So where do you go? Which site do you go? Are you a shopper, or are you a traveler, or are you a car enthusiast? How do we know this? Is by working with our DMPs. Yeah, because our DMPs has a lot of third-party data, or cookies data. Back in the days, we have this solution called CDP, or Customer Data Platform, which integrate our own data as well as partners' data. Okay, I'll go to that in a short bit. I want to explain that because for some of you, it might help, and it might be like a very interesting topic. But let me just finish off this don'ts, right? Okay. Most of the time, this one I can't comprehend, but I don't understand why people do this. They create campaign based on gut feeling. One day they wake up and they say, "Hey, I want to run a campaign," and they just run a campaign. Don't do this. You need to have a basis of why do you want to run a campaign. Remember goals, business case. You need to have a business case. You need to know what are the costs of the campaign and what are the outcome that you expect from the campaign, right? And another one, which is prioritize business demand. What I mean is when you work with a business would have multiple parties, right? Sometimes these people, they just launch a product, say, "Hey, Hazri, you know what? I'm just launched this product. You need to run a campaign." But to be honest, the product is not proven, right? And for me personally, I will actually ask them, "Okay, what do you want?" And sometimes do not let them dictate you because Based on experience, I got requests, say, hey, you know what, I'm just going to blast to all active users, everyone. It's like a broadcast to everyone. There's a time for you to do that, which is like awareness or education. Yes, you can do that, but then again, you don't do that just for the sake of somebody ask you to blast to everybody. Yeah, you should not ignore the factor of effective CRM campaign. The execute campaign silos, I touched that a little bit. Engagement does not equal daily spend. So if you send a campaign daily, that is not engagement. That is just simply sending, right? So engagement, like say the 5-factor of effective CRM campaign, you need to look into that. Yeah. Large scale on first run. Large scale on first run, you have the chances of hit and miss is super high. When you miss, right, you can be you can affect the brand negatively, right? So don't do that. Always do pilot and experimentation. And okay, this is very true for startups. Put up campaign in a rush. I understand that startups sometimes have like a very speedy mindset. They wanted to do campaign very fast. I think of a campaign, I just want to do it and just do it. Don't do that. What you do today will actually impact you in long run. If you annoy your customer today, you will annoy more and more people in the long run, and highly likely, if they have a choice, they will move away. If your services have no competition, right? If you're a dominant or like a monopoly, it's fine. You can just close your eyes and people will still use you. However, when there's a competition, if you do that, you're just going to be on the loss. You most probably get people in and then use you, get annoyed with you, look out, and just go. Yeah? So don't do that. All right, and coming back to the data part, let me just slide back up to this. All right. So there are 3 types of data. Own data is your own business data, your own internal data. So you have full access to it, make use of it. Partners data are the company that you have data exchange agreement. Sometimes if you look into the contract, it does say in very fine print that your data will be shared with our partners. Especially like the banks always has this with partners. It means that if I sign up with a bank, the bank can, well, basically some of the data will be shared between the bank as well and the partners, right? And internet data. So the internet data is where you get it from the MPs. So if you're lucky enough to have worked with a company that has agreement with the MPs, what you can do is you can pair your own data, your partner's data, as well as the internet data to have a more comprehensive customer overview. You might even hear the word of 360 view of a customer. Right? 360 view of a customer is the amalgamation of or the combination of data from multiple sources, right? Internet data is very, very rich, but it is also very, very messy because on your own data, you know the account number. Your partner's data, you have your own account number, you have the partner's account number, then you can do a mapping, most probably using your national identification card, possible. But internet data, you don't know who served what. But there are solution provider out there that do identity stitching. So identity stitching, it means that they try to stitch the unknown identity using the cookies with your first party data or your own data. Yeah.
Okay, so is your slides over, Hazri, or is there?
Yeah, hopefully it's not too heavy for you guys. Yeah, and well, it's actually the last part, which is the Q&A. So if you have a lot of questions, then I'm more than happy to answer. Or perhaps I can, like just do this one more. So this was actually in my lecture. So if you remember previously, we talked about the 4 areas of CRM: sales, marketing, customer experience, as well as customer service. And for sales, I mentioned a little bit about B2B and B2C. Okay, there's a huge difference between B2B and B2C, right? And this the slide cup, what you call table, try to portray the different, right? So when we talk about B2B, usually it's actually a larger scale. So you want to have, well, it can be larger scale, it can be medium scale. So let's say if you're a food delivery provider, then it is actually a much smaller scale, because you just need the merchant to sign up with you, and the merchant receives something, something, something. So basically, there's a journey of a merchant onboarding, right? But then again, if you're talking about a big company with multi-million dollars of deal, then basically it will be more complex. So the bigger the bigger the commitment, the complex it becomes. It might range from 1 to 12 months. Like I said, if you're just going to onboard a merchant, most probably you just take about 3 weeks, right? But then again, if you want to buy, or you want to do a transaction in terms of multi-million, then it might even take months, right? So the deal is relatively larger, fewer leads generated. Of course, you only have a size of a smaller size of businesses rather than customer. Consumer is like in millions or even in billions, right? But businesses, most probably, it's not that much. And there's more stages involved, because there's red tapes, there's procurement, there's such and such. So if you're a salesperson using a CRM tool, then basically you will have all this information inside the CRM tool, right? Your account, your activities, your entertainment spending, everything is actually inside CRM for sale, right? Not CRM for marketing, but CRM for sale. As for B2C, I think it's more. I think we are very familiar with B2C, because we are also a consumer. So it's less complex, straightforward, takes minutes or even second. Smaller commitment, like in a few what do you call ringgit or a few rupiah, and then there's a lot of leads and there's a few touch points. So it could even be, like the most is you go online, you receive it, you receive email, you go online, you purchase it, right?
Okay, so moving on to Q&A. Do you want to see all the questions, Hazri? Should I share my screen?
Sure.
All right then.
I can stop my screen sharing.
Yep, you can.
All right.
Okay, so these are all the questions. So there's some votes in here. So yeah, in this digital era, what traditional CRM is still relevant to this day? Is there any chance that it will be irreplaceable?
Okay. CRM is a combination, right? Is a combination of strategies, like practices, as well as technology. So it's not really a product or a solution. So I hope I'm actually answering you, but I mean, you don't replace CRM, you replace products or the CRM solution, based on the cost saving, most probably. So I've seen company moving from tier one, like I said, 14 million to the 500,000 one, what do you call it, one off. This is actually a real company. Yeah? So I've seen that the company does that. They replace it. However, of course, when you replace, that's also, like recreating whatever program that you did in one CRM or marketing CRM solution into another solution. So CRM is not going to go away. It's just a concept. Product, yes.
All right, thank you. So next question. Is there a cool off period applied for web or apps notifications?
Mm,
Usually
Very
an
good question.
absence about 3 to 5 times a day?
Okay, good question. So the keyword here is notification, or intrusiveness, right? So when you so let's take for example, yeah. So when it is something which is not welcome, it becomes intrusive. It means that a company wanted to communicate with you, but you're not, you don't expect it to come, or it's not predictable. So when it becomes intrusive, okay, in my previous company, what we do is we set a 10 communication in a month, three communication, maximum three communication in a week. And you need to have a 3 days cool off period between communication. Yeah. So remember, there's actually a lot of campaign, not just one campaign. Yeah. So let's say if I send today, most probably Ben need to wait another 3 days to send his campaign.
It's very
Yeah. So
important, I
this
think.
is where the communication comes into the picture.
Yeah. All right then. This is very important, I think, Hazri, because I receive a lot of notifications, maybe from one company 3, 5 times a day, and it annoys me. So
Exactly.
it defeats the purpose, I think. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so moving on. There's a question from Nizam. Nizam on. Okay, I guess I'll just read the question. So, can we scale up the CRM if the customer journey is not expandable or there's no product development or variation?
I'm a little bit unclear about the question.
Nizam, hello. I'm trying to get the students who asked to maybe talk to you.
Sure. Sure.
Nizam, halo. Ada di situ nggak Nizam? I don't think he's here. So let's get back to this question later. So moving
Yeah,
on
sure.
to next question. So conditions in Indonesia, companies often use the CRM strategy using a member card. Is this strategy still effective enough for today's marketing strategies?
Member cards. What do you mean by member card?
I think it's a sort of a loyalty program
Oh,
using a
okay.
member card. Yeah.
Well, be it member card or not, right? So in business, you need to have a reference, which is essentially an account number. Or even in loyalty, of course, that's a member card. Uh, I've seen a lot of people try to use a bit more, what do you call it, easy to remember reference, but I think the member card will not go away as long as like even the bank uses number card. I think the number card will remain.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. One more thing, probably I can add, right? So
Mm.
when I say like the a lot of company moving away from the card is actually by using application. So you don't have to remember the card anymore. So you just have to show the QR code for somebody to scan.
All right then. So, what if the problem is in the budget? Is it suitable to use? So yeah, this question actually, I think it's a follow-up question to the previous question.
Okay. I'm not so sure whether this question was you know related to my comment on credit cards.
Hmm.
So let me try to explain a little bit about the credit card. Yeah. In the previous implementation where I mentioned about we want to know your what do you call customer spending power. So the credit card actually give us a good idea of what is your credit limit and what is your wallet size. Yeah, and budget doesn't necessarily means that it has anything to do with a member card. So budget or the campaign budget very much relate to the campaign itself, right? So whether the campaign is going to be profitable or is it going to be lost? So we always have this ROI. If if the spending for the campaign is like 10,000 US dollar, what would be the benefit or what would be the forecasted outcome of the campaign? So if $10,000 is actually spent and the outcome is only 12,000, then basically is that something that you want to take on? Yeah. So it's always profit and loss. What do you call? A discussion.
Okay, thank you, Azri. So, seeing that there's no question left on Slido, I think it'd be best if we, directly
Pierre has
ask
some questions here.
questions to Hazri. Buat kalian, yeah, I think. Okay, so buat kalian guys yang mau nanya, raisan aja. Atau Nizam, halo Nizam. Atau grup member Nizam, Unggah, Hilvan, tolong dipanggil Nizam ya. Ada pertanyaan dia nih yang penting.
Maybe I can ask some question to Hazri to just spice up the
sure.
things.
Oh, ada Pierre. Halo Pierre.
Question to Hazri. So Hazri, what let's see how to say this. What frustrates you the most when you are working in CRM, and what makes you happy the most? Right. So what's your experience with that?
Sorry, I got what frustrates me the most is the second part is.
So excites you when you work on CRM?
My connection is not that good. So okay, let me just answer the first one. Frustrated me the most is when the business user asks you to do a campaign without really considering other campaign that is running. So in one of my don'ts, right? So I did mention that like the business user just ask you to a campaign to blast to everybody. So that really frustrates me because they don't really consider the situation, and I'm pretty sure that they don't know what they want. When you ask them for what are the goals, they just say, "Hey, you know what? I just launched a product. I just need the product to be out in the moment." When you ask them, who do you think are your potential target? They just say everybody, right? Okay, another best friend that you need to make, another team that you need to make best friend is with market research, right? Your market research will also tell you, okay, what the market wants. The second part, what excites me the most, is it?
Yep.
excites me the most is, okay, the success that we have done back in Stockholm. This is where we see, the team work together. So when you have a common goal, when you work in the company, multiple team has their own KPIs, and unfortunately, is a reality of the world. Everybody tried to take care of the KPI, so they don't have a common KPI. So what excited me the most in the company that I worked with previously, we highlighted this to the management. And the management actually sit down together. I mean, my big boss and their big boss sit down together and come up with a common KPIs. It means that their success is my success and vice versa. So this is where we actually, really brainstorm. We sit down, we take time, we do campaign properly, and we see the result. At the end of the day, everybody was actually, received acknowledgement on the campaign that we run. Do mind that the first pilot was actually 6 months. Is a long time, rather than the campaign that was done in rush, just because it need to be out in the world. Yeah.
Alright, thank you Pierre buat pertanyaannya. Nizam, here we go. Nizam, silakan langsung tanya aja.
Hello, Mr. Azri. So, my question is, from I learned last week, my customer journey cannot be expandable because the business is one-time fee, or there is no upselling or cross-selling. How we do scale up the CRM if I had that customer journey case?
So one-off is a bit, I mean, you really cannot do much, right? So basically the one-off is like a one-off you pay and then that's it. You cannot do a repeat sell. However, you can do referral. So basically, let's say if they refer people to use the service, then you can get something. So for example, I'm not so sure whether that's Red Bus in Indonesia, but that's on bus. Okay, that one, of course, you have multiple recurring, right? But then they also give you a referral incentive. So if you refer someone, they get something, you get something as well. Yeah, it's very hard when you don't have recurring spending. Yeah, I think in that sense, the word non-expendable is what you call is appropriate. But I think it's very, very rare, or at least in my experience, it's very rare because for us in consumable, it is always repeat selling or repeat order.
Okay. Thank you, Mr.
Nizam mau follow up nggak? Atau cukup?
No. Kayaknya emang harus diperluas lagi customer journey-nya.
I see. Mau cerita nggak bisnisnya apa gitu? Maybe Hazri can help.
My business is B2B for government, so we do transcription automation. That we sell to the government is licensed, so we can do any cross-selling or upselling.
I see. Okay. In that sense, that's maintenance. So that's one example when I talk about when the company moved from 4 million to 500,000 CRM a CRM solution, even though it's a one-off, but that's also a maintenance fee, right? A yearly maintenance fee. You need to pay me a yearly maintenance fee of 20% or of the amount. So However, it's not really marketing. It's already, you know, like a deal. It's part of the contract that you have to pay a certain amount of money. Tricky one-off. It's something that people don't usually, you know, like well, it's B2B. People do that. Yeah, I just think that most probably it's just not expendable, because if you can't sell anything, then there's nothing for you to do. The only way for you to do it is just to get new leads and to get new customers.
Okay. Thank you, Nizam. Thank you also, Hazri, for the answer. So, ada yang mau nanya lagi? Langsung raise hand aja. Kita ngobrol-ngobrol aja. Nggak ada yang mau nanya nih. Kalau nggak ada, gue hitung sampai 5. Atau langsung unmute aja deh, gak usah raise hand. Oke, kita bebas ngobrol aja. Jangan lupa isi feedback form ya guys. Di-share sama Putri udah. Ini ada Alfian yang PM. Nah, Alfian? Halo.
Yep.
Oke.
Just ask about the CRM organization structure. Just curious about how close the CRM role is to the product division, because I read from several articles that CRM is located in product management, and if so, why isn't in the marketing division?
Sorry, can you say that again?
It's my sound clear?
Yeah.
Bagian terakhir, Vi.
It just and if yes, why it's not in the marketing division?
And actually, it depends. Like you said, right? So it cut across multiple divisions. So there is a CRM for sales. Okay, CRM is a concept. Yeah. So sometimes people don't call it CRM team. Right? They call it marketing team, like or the sales team. But actually, the sales team who use CRM, there's a CRM technology behind it, right? CRM cut across organization. In one of my organization previously, they call it CVM, Customer Value Management. It's just a variation. Some call it CLM, some call CVM, some call CRM. But to be honest, this CVM team or CLM team, they are typically part of marketing. Why? Because they use marketing automation tool. If you use marketing automation tool, then basically you're part of marketing. Most of our organization that I see, CRM team are part of marketing. Yeah, but they are, like leads of, customer service and customer experience. So customer service and customer experience are a different division from marketing. But they may use, like the tool. They still call it CRM tool, CRM for CX, CRM for customer service, right? For example, what do you call Microsoft Dynamics for customer service. So this customer service CRM tool need to be integrated with the campaign management system, which is a marketing CRM tool, to be able to, for the customer service agent to be able to see, Alvian received this email. This is how it looks like. This is the actual email that you receive. It says that you will receive $10 if you do X, right? So the customer service would be able to assist you. So let's say if you call up the customer service, say, hey, you know what? I received this email and I have not received the $10 that you promised, right? So the tool that the customer service use extract the campaign information that you received the email from. They look at the actual email. They say, hey, you know what? It's our fault. And they do a resolution. So if you have a CRM tool with a customer service CRM tool and a marketing tool which is not connected, then the customer service will have to say, hey, put you on hold, or I come back to you tomorrow. I need to check with someone else, right? So remember, it's a practice, it's a strategies, it's a set of tools. Some provider has end-to-end tool. So like Salesforce. Salesforce has Sales Cloud. They have Marketing Cloud, right? Which also extend to experience. Adobe, they call it Adobe Experience. They have from the campaign, from the what you call CX, as well as customer service module as well. So it depends on the company whether they buy it from one provider or they buy it from multiple providers that which need to be integrated. So just to answer you, CRM team typically are part of marketing, because when we talk about CRM, it's kind of like interchangeably with marketing rather than sales and such, because for other area they usually say it's sales department, customer service department, the customer centricity or experience. Yeah, but I think it's very much depending to the business. They can call it what they want, but at the job that you do define exactly who you are.
I see, I see. Thanks, Hazri.
Okay.
Thank you, Alfian. So, Hazri, new questions here. Do you have any advice for us who just started learning digital marketing? What would be the skill we need to upgrade to be able to work with CRM?
Okay, remember the areas that I show: the data and insight, the design and the execution, the communication, the support, right? So that particular thing, if you want to expand your knowledge to CRM, the first thing you need to tackle is data, right? Because without the data, you won't be able to expand your horizon, right? So let's say if you only work with digital marketing, so basically you just do digital marketing. You have not done, like the internal marketing, like SMS, or like even people using the application, right? Try to expand to do that. So when you learn about data and you learn about the channel, the communication channel, you also expand your horizon. So digital marketing, you usually use Facebook tool or social tool. Try to expand using other tools like Salesforce, Marketing Cloud, Adobe Experience, or any other CRM solution that you have. So when you work with marketing, so there's actually a huge potential for you to grow. You don't have to be, like confined to just one area that you want to do. Just for example, like I said, I was actually from IT, so that's why I have a lot of integration knowledge or platform knowledge, and I bring that knowledge with me when I'm doing marketing. I don't do digital marketing hands-on per se, but I work with a digital marketer to understand, say, what are you, how do you do it, how do you create a segment in Facebook, how do you do lookalike in Facebook. Always ask question. You can do the same thing with people who do not do digital marketing but the other part of marketing.
All right, thank you. So, seeing that it's already 8:30, but we have one more question. So, Hazri, do you mind answering the last question?
Okay. CRM helicopter view. Okay, so it's a bit tough to answer on in terms of country, but let me just try to answer it from the companies that I work with throughout the countries that I work with. Right. So in Malaysia, the company that I work with has very good setup. They spend a lot, of course. They're big companies like telecommunication. So they do understand the importance of CRM. So telecommunication in Malaysia, very good in CRM. Yeah. In Singapore, which I work with, is a customer consumer like services, right? So there's a lot of services. So in the company that I work with in Singapore, they were very, very new to CRM. So this is where I got the question of is my email marketing CRM, right? So I think it really is in terms of whether you think it is very important, and then whether you really understand the concept of customer engagement or customer experience, which determine whether you're actually good in CRM or not. And Thailand is also good. I've worked with a few companies in Thailand. They also generate just to share with you, a company I work with, they generate about $200 million in revenue for CRM campaign. Yeah. In Malaysia, the highest, when I was working, is about $500 million ringgit Malaysia revenue just by doing the correct CRM. Yeah, value, it really is value. And I see, I would have to say it's actually to the company. So it's not really the country level, because even in country, I don't see a lot, or at least I don't get connected with a lot of CRM professional in Malaysia. Same goes in Singapore, but yeah, in Thailand, I actually get connected a lot because I work with a few companies who are very interested in CRM.
Okay, Hilvan, any follow-ups question?
Okay, thank you, Hazri. I get the point, and it's really nice insight.
Okay, so that concludes our session for today. Thank you, Hazri, for sharing your insights and knowledge. It was really great to hear from you all the insights about customer and also the feedback loops, everything.
Yep.
And ya, guys, jangan lupa buat isi feedback form. Kita mau dengar dari kalian juga apa yang bisa diimprove, mungkin dari faculty, dari Hazri juga, maybe where he can improve. Oke, guys. Mau ngambil foto, take a photo, picture, nyalain kamera mungkin, guys.
I saw Irfan sending recommendation for future reading gamification. Let me do this, right? So I'll put some references inside the slide that I shared today. I will send a PDF version of the slide to the faculty, and then basically most probably you guys can share it with the rest of the students. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Azri. So, guys, ayo guys, nyalain kamera, guys. Kita foto dulu. So, belum semua nih yang nyalain nih. Oke nih, Esa, El, Mila, Ungga, Ilham, Hardi, Wildan, Tri. Mungkin bisa nyalain kamera sebentar aja kita foto. Oke, guys. Alfian yang pakai MacBook.
Boleh, Ben?
Can you help me? Kalau gue snipping nge-freeze layarnya.
Oke, guys.
Ya.
Ini satu slide aja ya, jadi bisa 3 kali pose ya.
Oke.
Oke, Aba-aba, 1, 2, 3. Cheers. Oke. 1, 2, 3. Sekali lagi, guys.
Oke, lagi
1,
video.
2, 3. Oke.
Okay, thank you guys. Thank you Hazri for the knowledge tonight. See you on Saturday ya teman-teman. Review session. Oke. Good night. Malam semua. Bye-bye.
All right.